Good morning. I'm back. Finally. I didn't know when this was going to happen, but I'm finally back and welcome. I'm so excited to be back. As you know, if you watched any of my last few videos, I had worked on 3 journals, and by the time I was finished with them, I had a little bit of burnout or just needed a little bit of a break. And then I had an eye issue, and from there it kind of went into some family stuff. Nothing bad, but just busy. So I'm finally back and raring to go. So I hope you join me. This is going to be really easy, kind of beginner stuff. But if I learned nothing from Corey Dahman, is to revisit some perhaps older ideas or simpler ideas, or whatever you want to classify them. Sometimes less is more, and sometimes back to basics is really good. So that's what I thought we could try today. I was going through one of my little containers of things I pre-make. I don't often pre-make too much because I find it hard to fit into a journal or a project that I'm doing. So they end up getting tucked away and hidden from me until I clean house or accidentally find them. And that's sort of what happened to these. These are little booklets I made to put into upside down, to put into journals that I make. And in this one, I just put a little tablet band, a little belly band there up high. And on the back of these little papers, I put a little cardstock to slide into the belly band, and it holds it. And then a little pocket. That simple. Honestly, that simple. These came about. This one's a little different. Still has the little tablet, but I glued it down. And a more formal pocket. This one has a pocket at a tracing paper on this side. A very rustic pocket here with a little tab, which I love. How do I use them? Well, I make a lot of times these slightly smaller folios and flippy flappies. I enjoy making this type of thing, and this is really where I find I like to slip them in certain areas in here. And this one got a little fancy and put a tiny envelope. So to put the tiny envelope in, I just sewed it on my sewing machine straight down. And there's a little pocket here and a little pocket here. Hindsight, I would have moved this down a little bit, but I still think it's adorable, and it has a little tab. And I just think these are adorable. But how, or the reason these came about was because I think we all love and enjoy Tim Holtz paper. And in the Tim Holtz 12 by 12s, we all get these sheets, which love Tim Holtz, love the paper, and love the different few sheets in the back that we get with, I believe, 6 by 6 and these little things. But you can only use these for tags and little pockets, whatever. And they're so cute. I thought that perhaps if there was a way to harness the cuteness in its own little package. So, and since they're double-sided, they're perfect for this, because you truly can pick a side that you want as your cover. That will be the back. So your cover, is always on the right if you want to open it like a normal book, from right to left if you want to open it. So for this one, this would be my cover. That it's not written in stone. If you want to use this, it would have to be bent like that and open from left to right, and then that would be your inside. But you do you. It doesn't matter which way you open it. I've even thought it doesn't work out as well to bend them like that. The problem is you usually have something upside down. If you're going to cover it, it's no big deal, but I prefer these little ones. So as you can see, I just cut this off wherever it was. Cut it off. You can also do it with the larger ones. It's a little more cutting, perhaps a tiny bit measuring, because with these ones you don't have to do anything. You just pick your cover. That's automatically the back, and you cut it out and fold it. It's easy peasy. Let me get this out of the way. For these, you can make one that big. However, I like them smaller so I can tuck them in places. So I cut them apart, or at least I cut one square out that I want to use. That would be cute too. Anyway, this one I cut, let's see how I cut it, this way. So this was one of these. And I'm sorry if you hear my cat in the hallway. He decided he wanted to be a mama's boy today, and I'm a little busy. He will have to wait his turn. So I measured this and thought, if I'm going to fold it in half, which I wanted it this way, I just thought I'd make it a tiny bit smaller to give me a tiny bit more cutoff, because the cutoff is going to be what I'm going to use for any pockets I want to put in, or however whatever I'm going to use on the inside. Like this one just has 2 ripped pockets, which I really like. I really like that. You can get as fancy or as simple as you want. So you can use the 6x6. You just have to decide how big or tall you want your little booklet, and cut it at that spot and fold it in half. And there it is. But for today, I thought we would just, well, I can, if we have time, I'll do both. So what you're going to need is some sort of paper trimmer, cutter, scissors, if you use that. What else? You're going to need glue. If you're anything like me, you're going to need a scoreboard. And I did think, let me get it back here. If for any reason you decide, I really want to use this as a cover and this as my back, but I don't want it to open this way, you can cut them separately and still connect them. Instead of them folding, you just washi tape to the rescue. Da da da! Washi tape. You get out your washi tape. You put the 2 together that you want, and you washi tape a spine. I mean, really, right? Right? It's like magic. Washi tape. I thought I had one. What I did find is, I bought this tablet quite a while ago. I may have whipped it out here and there in another project. I got it because there's just some really cool, I think, cool paper in. But once I had it, I don't know. Well, maybe it's just because I end up buying this stuff and hoarding it. I think up reasons why not to use it. I don't know, but it is what it is. I bought that, and I find, for me, that I think it goes with the Dapper papers from Tim Holtz. and I absolutely adore all of Tim Holtz papers. But if I'm not doing a manly journal, a very more manly, on the manly side, I find it hard to just work the dapper paper in with the cigar papers and but this tablet has these pieces that I think work so well with the dapper papers. And so here's I believe this was from the dapper, and it's cool, but I think it's very manly. Again, here, this was one piece from the dapper, and I love it, but I just found it redundant to keep using the same pieces over with the same pieces. And when I dug through my stash and found other papers that I feel go with the dapper, I just wanted to let you know that if you find it hard to use some of these type of papers, which I'm going to do this one. Gee whiz, Hank's really putting up a fuss out there. This is the tablet, and it is the 6x6. So where did I get it? Most likely Hobby Lobby, but I don't know for sure. I'm thinking Hobby Lobby though. Anyway, so we have our Tim Holtz ones, and as well get to it. Here's just one of the pieces that I cut off, but because any of the cutoffs are what I can then use as my pockets, which I love. But you don't have to. You can use any papers you have. You don't need Tim Holtz to do this. I should have pulled out something that wasn't Tim Holtz, but you don't need Tim Holtz. And you don't need, this is very thin cardstock, but you can make these out of paper. The thicker the cardstock, the harder it is to just sneak it in, slip it into some little cute journal, or also the easier the ends when you score it and bend it, they kind of crack. They're harder to work with the thicker they are. So I find the Tim Holtz type thickness is really the perfect thickness, but you can go thinner easily. So I'm gonna get my scissors out of the way because I don't feel I need it. The only other thing before we get to that is these little tags. Here is a normal size tag. This is the normal size, which I have a die that I cut these out of any of the Tim Holtz, but any paper, and just anything I've left over. So I save these, like if there's really no use for this at the time, I tuck these away, and then when I get out my die sets, I can make little tabs out of these type papers. However, which I also did with my smaller one of these big one I felt were just a little too big hanging on there, but for me it's because I'm tucking it into such a small journal or flip. So I got my tiny ones. What did I do with them? I have a tiny die cut that makes these this size, which I love for these smaller projects. So you do you pick the one you want to use, the size, whatever. And these are not limited to whatever I do on the inside of mine because it's limitless. You can even put a tiny little, you can sew a tiny little signature inside if you wanted to. I would think if you were going to put in a couple pieces of paper, you'd maybe perhaps want to not bend it in the center. You'd want to put a little bit of a spine in there, 1/8 of an inch or something thin. Otherwise, we're defeating the purpose, I guess. But so if you're a good folder, okay, I'm not. I'm going to prove to you how much I'm not. If you're going to ink, but you don't have to ink for sure. This is all on you. You can just fold it if you're a good enough folder. You'll see how I'm not a good folder. Oh, I didn't do too bad. I didn't do too bad. Okay, I had already pre-inked this. This one I have not inked. I do have my ink. So if you're an inker, get your ink. You're going to need some glue if we're going to put some pockets in. You might need your scoreboard if you need your scoreboard, and that. Some washi tape if you only have, if you've already pre-cut that. I had 2 or 3 sheets that I had pre-cut each and every one of these and just had them in a stack. Then my hands were really tied, so that is when the washi tape come in. Now, I didn't purposely do it. I don't have any flowery or springy, summery washi tape for whatever reason. I have 50 rolls of different business ledger, map. They're all in the same color basically, which remind me I have to expand my washi tape color board. I have to get some daintier, springier, happier. Okay, I'm just gonna, because I don't know how, oh, I don't know, I guess because I cut it off, I'm not sure, but one side of that was not inked. So I'm just going to give it a quick ink in case I pick it up and do something with it here. And I'm still using the 4 protectors. This is the longest I've ever been able to use without, I mean, normally I go through, if it's the spongy ones that you normally buy, like every week they're crumbling all over the place. So with this, if I get too many of these, I trim them off. But this is still the same one from, I don't know how long ago now. So I'm really happy with these felt ones. And some nice viewer, I'm sorry, I didn't prepare that I was going to bring this up, but some viewer said you can get the alcohol ink felt ones that work like these felt ones, and my Hobby Lobby had the felt ones for alcohol ink, so I did buy them and try them, and I'm using that on one of my other ones for a different color. Love the felt ones. So if anyone's thinking you can't mix and match, try it out, go for it. This one's just a floor saver for furniture from the Dollar Tree. Get a pack of these at the Dollar Tree. I may have had to trim it, trim around it a little, but I'm a little OCD about stuff like that. Heaven forbid it should lean off the side. So we're just gonna ink up the sides, and I'm gonna try not to over ink too much because that's my MO. I can over ink. My goodness, it's a good thing I wasn't raised in the shoe polish era, or, well, I might have made a fortune polishing shoes. I don't know. Okay. I believe I'm done. And it's that simple. It really is. And you can kind of mass make these, because you just can cut up one sheet and mass make these. I'm going to use the one that goes with the paper. I'm going to decide how I want it. Let's see. Makes a perfect pocket there. I think I'm going to, now you'll get a real taste of the indecisive drill. Okay, I'm gonna just pretty much cut it in half, give or take. Doesn't have to be perfect. Okay, maybe it does. I don't know. I wanted the eggs. I'm gonna just rip it though. I think I'm gonna rip it, and I don't throw much away, so that ain't gonna get thrown away. I don't mind the white. I know you can rip it the opposite way and get all the white to the opposite side. How can I be so picky about some things and not picky about others? I don't know. I guess we don't want to be in my head. I guess that's the moral of this story. We don't want to be in my head. All right, so there we go. And I want to put that over here. Maybe. No, I didn't want to. You can also stamp on these before and after, obviously, however you choose to want to decorate. I'm trying to decide if I just want to do, I think I'm going to do, if I put this over here, I can put the eggs over there. And if you can actually cover, if you're thinking, oh, I don't want necessarily that picture when I open it, I want something, whatever, ledger. You can cover it with a piece of paper of ledger or whatever, but I just like the busyness going on, and I like being able to layer. I'm starting to learn how to layer and not have it just look like chaos. And that's a tough one for me, because when I look back at what I was doing maybe 3 years ago, now when I look back, it looks just chaotic to me. Like I was just picking things and gluing them down for no real reason. So I'm kind of learning a better way, more cohesive looking. So I think I'm just going to rip this. Okay, let's do it this way and kind of at an angle, because I just want to glue this over here and put that there. I want 2 different pockets. It doesn't matter. You could go this way. No rules. There's no right or wrong. It's just what you're into at this moment. I can tell you, probably 3 years from now, whatever you do today won't be what you're doing, because that's how it worked out for me. Okay, you can round corner edges if you prefer. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. Let's get the glue out and start gluing. Let's just start gluing. Okay, sorry if I'm out of frame. I'm really kind of out of practice here. So I hope everyone had a wonderful Mother's Day. I had a terrific Mother's Day. Of course, every Mother's Day for me is a really nice Mother's Day. Everyone goes really out of their way for me. Of course, I demand it. That's all. I demand it. No. Okay. Just get that glued on. You also can make a higher pocket. I did not, just this part. If I would have cut it different, this part could have been a higher pocket. I don't like when things are too deep and I can't get at it later. Something falls in there. My fingers are too fat to try and go digging around and ripping things. So if I'm quiet it's really because I'm really concentrating really hard. Okay, so get this one down, and this one will have to get nudged a little. We have to nudge it because it's perhaps not totally square. Okay. Let me get this out of the way for now. I can bring it back if I need it. And then it's just a matter of perhaps picking something from here. Normally, well, not normally. I should have probably took a hair off that, maybe. I don't know if you can see that. See that? I'm just gonna try to just nip a little. Take the fuzz off the side, hoping I didn't cut into anything. That way it folds nice. All right, back to this, and they're all double-sided, so I really have. Okay, that's a no. And I can decide if I want to put it on the front one or the back one. Okay, so this is, I would say, a little more girly. Let me see. I kind of like that. Okay, we're just going to go with that. And I'm just going to give it a quick little inking. Oh, got glue all over me already. You can always tell when I don't craft for a couple days because my nails are white, and you can tell the second I start because my nails start. I ink up my nails. Somehow I can't ink without getting it as much on me as I get on my. I don't know how other people do it. When I do really tiny things, I have to put on gloves, or I just look a mess after a couple hours of just inking tiny stuff. And I love to ink tiny stuff. It's like, it's just busy work. It's kind of like fussy cutting, only without the fuss in the cut. Okay, now you can decide where you want it. Center, up higher. I like to put it up a little higher. So I'm going to get out my glue. We're going to glue it up. I guess I want it right about there. Perfect. Exactly where I wanted it. Okay. Put it on the back. Boom. Get a second to grab. Now we'll put some glue on this side and seal it up. And we have it done. Well, at least the base. If you're going to mass make these, I would suggest this is kind of where you stop, so that when you have a journal, you can pick it up and go, oh, I want whatever colors or whatever in it. Okay, so this one, which is definitely more manly, let me just see, I may want, because that matches the, no, does it? Kind of matches the back, so I may pick that. Not sure. It is more manly, and I do have, this is, that looks very business-like. Want business-like? I might. I definitely might. Okay, so what could we use? Well, I have this piece from the same, and I may, let's see, what are we gonna, you know what, I may make a belly band to put a tablet in there. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Let me get that out of the way. That Let me cover my glue, or you'll watch me struggle with that. All right, I'm just going to cut these in sort of half. And then I did say I want to cover probably that, because I think out of all, so I'm probably going to have to nip a hair off of this yet. And I only want a thin piece, because it's just going to be probably about no thicker than a 1/2 inch, but a 1/4 inch I think will suffice. And then I just want my scissors to nip a bit of the end off. I don't know how straight that was, but that's what we're doing. Now, this paper for the most part will be, oh, you could even do that. That might even be a little better, actually. Yep, like that. Okay. This is just going to be the belly band. I didn't think ahead and to make a little tablet, but I will pull one out of here. Of course, it's always the last one, right? Always. So I'm going to just, to show, that will slide in. So I'm going to glue that down. Perhaps I should, well, not that anyone's going to really see it, right? But I'll know. I will know. So just going to tidy that up. And I'm going to glue it down. Just try to put very, I try not to get too crazy, but it is why for these I do cut these way thinner, not the whole back of the tablet, because I want this to be able to be slid in and out. Whoa, super easy. Wow, it does not want to get glued down, does it? Okay, and I want to move it down a little like this. I want to make sure I can fold it. I may have to trim that. Not me. It's a must. I must have to trim this. There we go. Dab, dab, dab. And there we have it. Just give that a second to grab, and it will look like that. I mean, how easy. And that way this can be removed when it's full, if anyone really journals on it. Okay. Then we just have to decide what we want to do on that side. And I'm going to say we're going to do the same paper. And is that a little much? I think that's a little tall. I'm going to take a little more off. And then I'm going to, yes, that's better. And then I'm just going to rip. Is that, oh, I see. I was holding it sideways. If I wouldn't have been holding it sideways, I wouldn't have to make this trim right now. But now I got to make that trim. All right, I'm just going to, first, I'm going to rip it first. Then decide, because I may, there, just make a, there, perfect. And if you keep that, you can use it in another one. Yep. I think one of them is that's how I did it. I just ripped it like that and then used it on both sides. I mean, really, you can't, if you are a beginner and you're finding it overwhelming, these are kind of perfect because they're fast, they're fun. You can sit and in 10 minutes have a completed project that is adorable and yet useful, because as long as you don't go too crazy decorating it, you can decorate it when you decide what journal or how you're going to use it, and then you can finish putting in the colors and more theme. But the best part is you can also use it as is. You don't need any more, absolutely need any more decoration. You can use it as is. So if you tuck these away, you can pull it out and use it as is. Okay, we're just going to show you. Oh, I still want to put a, so it would look very businesslike, very, tuck in one of those tiny little skinny pencils. All right, I think I said I wanted to use this one, but now I'm thinking, I don't think I have, I don't know. Now I'm thinking, do I want to use that one or, I do. Okay, that's happening. That is happening. So give it a quick little inking. And whoops, sorry for the noise. And okay. Taking the tablet out. I think I'm going to put this more towards the center, definitely. So please comment below if you have time, if you want, comment below and let me know if you have any other ideas on using these type of papers from the paper pack, because I do think when you get 2 or 4 of them in each pack, in each paper pack, they start to add up, and I think we just sort of end up using them for tags and just tucking them away and sending them in happy mail. You come up with a better idea. This was my idea. Happy mail. Okay. Just again, this isn't the one I would probably, I could even, if I wanted to, take a piece of this and just make a belly band, but you could at that point really take any piece, make a belly band. Did I say? I meant a piece for the top, because the bottom goes underneath. You can use pretty much almost absolutely anything. But there it is. What? Okay, so today we did 2, one with 2 pockets, well, a tuck and a pocket, and I would probably stamp a little cute little number on there and do a little stamping, maybe glue a couple little Tim Holtz nips and little things. And this one, I'm definitely obviously going to make its own little tablet. I think that's important for this business type one, to have a little tablet. How easy. Done. And just remember, however long it took me to make 2, I really always take the long road. I do a little too much of this and not enough of this. So really, I stretch it out, but just admiring my work. So make a couple, see what you think. Give me a comment below if you enjoy some of the easier once and done things instead of 3, 4, 5 videos to finish a big project. Sometimes it's just nice to sit down and start to finish, have one product afterwards that we can all look at in an oogle for the rest of the day. That's what I do. All right. All right. Thanks for spending some time with me. I appreciate it. And have a nice day. Keep crafting. Hugs.